Imagine this. What if the words you speak today could change the course of your life? It may seem like an exaggeration, but our words have immense power. They shape how we see the world, how others see us, and ultimately, how we see ourselves. The Stoics knew this long ago. Words are never just words. They're reflections of our values, our character, and our ability to navigate the storms of life with wisdom and resilience. Today, we're diving into 15 things an intelligent person, someone who is committed to living mindfully, never says. This isn't about empty self-control. It's about discovering how avoiding certain phrases can transform your relationships, elevate your mind, and guide you toward a life filled with purpose. By the end of this video, you won't just know what not to say, you'll gain the tools to reshape how you think and act, empowering you to create a life of wisdom, respect, and inner peace. Stay with me, because these aren't just words. They're the keys to unlocking a new level of clarity, resilience, and emotional strength. Picture this. You're sitting with a group of friends, and the conversation turns to someone who isn't present. There's a certain thrill to gossip. It makes you feel included, like you're part of something. But think about this. What are you really gaining? Gossip feels good in the moment, but it erodes trust, not just with the person being discussed, but with those around you as well. An intelligent person never says, "Did you hear what Sarah did at the party?" Why? Because they understand that gossip is a betrayal of trust, not just toward others, but to themselves. Each time you gossip, you chip away at your own integrity, and those around you begin to wonder if you'll turn the same harsh words on them when they're not in the room. When you choose to gossip, you drive a wedge into the heart of your relationships. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Gossip keeps you stuck in shallow judgments, distracting you from your own growth and your ability to foster deeper, more meaningful connections. So next time, when the urge to gossip arises, remember, you have the power to build or destroy trust with your words. Take a step back, refocus, and choose to speak in a way that reflects your true character. Silence, in those moments, speaks volumes. We've all been there. A friend or colleague asks for help, and before you've even had time to think it through, the words, "I promise I'll be there," fly out of your mouth. It feels good in the moment to be reliable, to show you're someone others can count on. But deep down, a small part of you knows you might not be able to keep that promise. Life happens, things come up. And then what? Overpromising doesn't just let others down, it damages your credibility and adds unnecessary stress to your life. An intelligent person understands that promises are more than just words. They are commitments that carry weight, and making them lightly can lead to disappointment for everyone involved. Instead of making a promise in haste, consider this approach. Take a moment to reflect before you commit. Being honest about your capacity builds trust over time, far more than promising what you can't deliver. People respect when you're realistic, and that strengthens your reliability. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." By being more mindful of what you commit to, you create a life of integrity and trustworthiness. It's better to promise less and deliver more than to stretch yourself thin and disappoint those who are counting on you. Think back to a time when someone was struggling and you thought to yourself, "I could have handled that better." Maybe it was a friend dealing with a difficult decision or a coworker trying to navigate a tricky project. The urge to offer advice, especially when you feel you know better, can be overwhelming. But here's the thing. Unsolicited advice often feels like judgment. An intelligent person avoids saying, "You should have done it this way," because they understand that unsolicited criticism undermines the other person's autonomy. It creates distance instead of connection. Rather than immediately giving advice, try listening first. Focus on understanding the other person's perspective. This creates an opportunity for deeper connection, allowing them to feel seen and heard. Offering your thoughts when they're requested makes them more impactful. Remember Epictetus's wisdom. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Sometimes support comes not in the form of advice, but in being fully present for someone else's journey. Silence, paired with respect, can be far more powerful than words. We've all had those moments where someone acts out of character, and our first instinct is to say, "I can't believe they did that." But what if we stopped for a moment to consider what might be going on behind the scenes? The Stoics teach us that people are complex. We are not the sum of a single action or moment. An intelligent person avoids making snap judgments based on one incident. Why? Because they know that everyone is carrying a burden we may not be aware of. Marcus Aurelius reminds us to be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. In other words, give others the benefit of the doubt, but hold yourself to a higher standard. Before rushing to judgment, take a step back. Consider that there may be factors you don't see. This practice not only helps you build empathy, but also allows for more thoughtful and balanced responses. You might find that what initially seemed like an offense was actually a reflection of someone's internal struggles. Next time someone's actions catch you off guard, ask yourself, what might they be going through that I don't know about? This shift in perspective opens the door for patience and understanding, allowing you to build stronger connections and avoid unnecessary conflict. We've all had moments where things go wrong, and our first instinct is to say, "It's not my fault," whether at work, in relationships, or even within ourselves. Deflecting responsibility feels like self-preservation. But the truth is, it's a missed opportunity for growth. An intelligent person avoids saying, "It's not my fault," because they know that growth comes from owning up to their part in any situation. The Stoics believed that while you can't always control external events, you can control how you respond. Deflecting responsibility only distances you from that power. Instead of looking for where the blame lies, try reframing your response. Focus on what you can control in the situation and how you can learn from it. By owning up to your part, even if it's small, you show strength, integrity, and a commitment to growth. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Blame is an obstacle, but accountability is the path forward. Taking responsibility empowers you to improve, and that, in turn, strengthens your relationships and your self-respect. In the heat of an argument, it's easy to say, "You always do this," or "You never listen." But here's the problem. These absolutes rarely reflect reality. Overgeneralizing exaggerates the issue, inflames emotions, and shuts down productive conversation. An intelligent person avoids saying "you always" or "you never" because they value clarity and fairness. The Stoics encourage us to see the world as it is, not as our frustration paints it. By using extreme language, we distort the truth and damage our ability to resolve conflicts. Instead, focus on addressing the specific issue at hand. Try pinpointing what went wrong in the moment, without expanding it to cover every past action. This allows for more productive dialogue and creates space for understanding, rather than escalating tensions. Epictetus taught, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Overgeneralizing is a reaction to frustration, not a reflection of the truth. By choosing your words carefully, you promote understanding and ensure that your conversations stay rooted in reality. Stress hits, the pressure builds, and before you know it, the words, "I can't handle this," slip out. It's a common reaction, but it carries more weight than we realize. When you say, "I can't handle this," you're not just expressing frustration, you're reinforcing a mindset of limitation. You're shutting down the possibility of resilience before you've even tried. An intelligent person avoids negative self-talk because they understand the power of language to shape reality. The Stoics believed that while we can't control external events, we always have control over how we respond. When you tell yourself you can't handle something, you're surrendering control to your emotions rather than using your rational mind to find a solution. Rather than saying you can't, remind yourself that challenges are opportunities for growth. With each difficult moment, you have a chance to become more resilient and capable. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "The mind adapts and converts to its own purposes, the obstacle to our acting. By changing how you talk to yourself, you change how you face life's hurdles, turning obstacles into stepping stones for growth. How often have you heard, or maybe even said yourself, "It's just the way I am"? It's a common excuse when someone doesn't want to change or when they believe they're stuck in their ways. But here's the truth. Nothing could be further from the Stoic mindset. Saying, "It's just the way I am," is essentially giving up on the possibility of growth. An intelligent person avoids saying, "It's just the way I am," because they recognize that growth is a lifelong journey. Stoicism teaches us that while we may not control everything that happens to us, we always have the power to improve ourselves. No one is fixed in their ways unless they choose to be. Instead of settling for stagnation, remind yourself that you are a work in progress. Every challenge, every setback, and every moment of reflection offers a chance to evolve. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." It's this recognition of our potential for change that sets the wise apart from the complacent. Rather than resigning to your current habits, ask yourself, what small step can I take today to become a better version of myself? This shift in mindset opens the door to endless possibilities for personal growth. How many times have you been faced with a challenge and thought, "It's impossible"? It's an understandable reaction when things seem overwhelming. But the moment you declare something impossible, you've already sealed its fate. You've placed a barrier on your own potential. An intelligent person avoids saying, "It's impossible," because they know that impossibility is often a reflection of fear, not reality. The Stoics believed that obstacles were not to be avoided, but embraced. What seems impossible is often just difficult. And difficulty is the ground where growth takes root. Rather than viewing obstacles as impassable, consider them as challenges to rise to. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Our actions may be impeded, but there can be no impeding our intentions or dispositions." In other words, what seems like a block is often an opportunity for creativity and resilience. When you feel overwhelmed, ask yourself, how can I approach this differently? Instead of focusing on why something won't work, focus on finding a way forward. This mindset shift transforms roadblocks into stepping stones, aligning you with the Stoic path of perseverance and wisdom. Life isn't fair. It's one of the hardest truths to accept, but also one of the most important. Complaining about fairness doesn't change reality. It only deepens your frustration. And when you say, "That's not fair," you give your power away to circumstances outside of your control. An intelligent person avoids saying, "That's not fair," because they understand that fairness is often outside of their control. The Stoics teach that life's setbacks are opportunities to strengthen our character, not to focus on what's wrong with the world. Fairness, while important, isn't always guaranteed, and focusing on it too much can blind you to what you can control. Instead of dwelling on fairness, shift your focus to how you can grow from the situation. By focusing on your response, rather than the perceived injustice, you take back control and open yourself up to personal growth. Next time you face an unfair situation, ask yourself, how can I rise above this? This perspective empowers you to move forward with resilience, no longer burdened by things outside your control. We've all been there, faced with a difficult situation or disappointment, and the words, "I don't care," slip out. It's often said as a way to protect yourself from emotional investment, but the truth is, indifference can disconnect you from what truly matters. When you say, "I don't care," you may be distancing yourself from your purpose and values. An intelligent person avoids saying, "I don't care," because they know that indifference is a shield that keeps them from engaging with what matters most. Stoicism teaches us to care deeply about what's within our control while remaining indifferent to things we can't change. When you declare indifference towards something important, you miss the opportunity for meaningful engagement. Rather than shutting down your emotions, acknowledge what truly matters to you and act accordingly. Caring doesn't make you vulnerable, it makes you human. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Indifference is a refusal to act, while caring invites action and purpose. Instead of saying, "I don't care," consider asking yourself, "What do I value in this situation?" This approach keeps you connected to your inner values and guides your actions toward what truly matters. Rather than shutting down your emotions, acknowledge what truly matters to you and act accordingly. Caring doesn't make you vulnerable, it makes you human. Indifference is a refusal to act, while caring invites action and purpose. Instead of saying, "I don't care," consider asking yourself, "What do I value in this situation?" This approach keeps you connected to your inner values and guides your actions toward what truly matters. It's easy to look at someone's success and think, "They're just lucky." This mindset distances you from their effort and the lessons you could learn from their journey. But the truth is, luck is only a small part of success. Hard work, persistence, and resilience play far larger roles. An intelligent person avoids saying, "They're just lucky," because they know that success is rarely about chance alone. Stoicism reminds us that while external factors might influence outcomes, it's our own choices, perseverance, and focus that ultimately shape our lives. Rather than attributing someone's achievements to luck, look closer at the effort and persistence that brought them to where they are. When you see someone succeed, let it inspire you to grow, to work harder, and to push your own limits. Instead of dismissing success as luck, ask yourself, "What can I learn from their path?" This mindset not only turns envy into inspiration, but also invites growth and self-improvement. We've all done it, pushed something off for later because it feels overwhelming or tedious. But procrastination isn't just about delaying a task, it's about delaying progress, growth, and fulfillment. Each time you say, "I'll get to it later," you're postponing not just the task, but your development. An intelligent person avoids saying, "I'll get to it later," because they understand the value of the present moment. The Stoics emphasize the importance of acting now, as the future is never guaranteed. Procrastination robs you of the opportunity to act when it matters most. Instead of putting things off, approach each task as an opportunity for growth. Seneca reminds us, "While we are postponing, life speeds by." By taking action in the present, you align yourself with your goals and reduce the stress that procrastination brings. Next time you're tempted to delay, ask yourself, "What can I accomplish today that my future self will thank me for?" This shift in perspective encourages immediate action and leads to more productive, fulfilling outcomes. How often have you struggled through something, telling yourself, "I don't need help"? In a society that often equates independence with strength, asking for help can feel like admitting weakness. But in truth, refusing help when you need it isn't a sign of strength, it's a missed opportunity for growth. An intelligent person avoids saying, "I don't need help," because they know that wisdom comes from recognizing when support is needed. Stoicism teaches that we are interconnected, and our growth is often accelerated when we seek the guidance of others. Asking for help is not a sign of failure, it's a sign of maturity and humility. Instead of isolating yourself, embrace the idea that we grow stronger together. Marcus Aurelius said, "Help me, or I will help you, and we will accomplish our work together." Surrounding yourself with people who can guide and support you creates a network for success. Next time you're faced with a challenge, consider asking, "Who can offer me valuable insight to move forward?" This mindset opens the door to learning, collaboration, and mutual growth. We've all brushed off a decision by saying, "It doesn't matter," especially when the choice feels small or insignificant. But this mindset can lead to disengagement from your deeper values and purpose. Every action, no matter how small, contributes to the life you're building. An intelligent person avoids saying, "It doesn't matter," because they understand that each choice, big or small, shapes their future. Stoicism teaches us to find meaning in every moment. Dismissing a decision as unimportant disconnects you from the opportunity to align with your values. Instead of ignoring the significance of small choices, recognize that each decision is an opportunity to live in accordance with your purpose. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Your actions, however small, define who you are becoming. Ask yourself, How can this choice reflect the person I want to be? This reframes even minor decisions as steps toward a more meaningful and intentional life. Every word you speak is a reflection of your values, your character, and your control over your life. By avoiding these 15 phrases, you align yourself with the wisdom of Stoicism, where your words are deliberate, thoughtful, and rooted in integrity. Remember, Stoicism teaches that control over our words leads to control over our thoughts and actions. Mastering your speech is the first step toward mastering your life. Thank you for watching today's video. If you found these insights valuable, subscribe and join me for more Stoic wisdom. Together, let's continue this journey of growth, intention, and resilience.